Welcome. Hello. It is March 2nd, Wednesday, the day of Mercury. And today is a new moon in Pisces. I'm Dawn Black. I'm the creator of um, sacredheart.com and the Wikipedia. And I am, this is Good Morning with Dawn. So every weekday at 10:30 a.m., we're going to just have a little chat. Again, this is in part to help me get used to the camera so I can bring you more interesting videos. But also, interesting things to chat about. People have questions all the time. So definitely, if you're here live, put you can submit questions into the chat, and if you are watching later on, submit questions into the comments below, and I will incorporate said questions into my morning chats. So today, again, is my observation of the new moon. And for me, it's a pretty important monthly observation. I know a lot of which is focus on the full moon. For me, sort of the full moon is still important, but the new moon is sort of the starting point for everything. So it is so because new moon is the starting point, it's the foundational point for the month. The full moon being the peak later on. Um, I like to start the new moon, or rather, uh, spend the new moon creating a sort of clean slate and also planning for my month. So first of all, spiritually speaking, this is when I do my altar maintenance. We, just tidy up and dust. I tend to put things on my altar a lot. Um, oh, I have. I've already tidied up a little bit, but I tend to just pile things there. Um, you know, I don't know, things like uh, cards that I received, uh, lottery tickets go on the altar, any kind of um, like award, or I don't want to say award, anything that represents an achievement, I should say, or anything that marks um, an important life event, even if it's just like a birthday or a Christmas card or whatever. I stick that on the altar. It tends to pile up. Um, the final bill for something that I needed to pay off, that goes on the altar. Um, what else have I got? If somebody sends me a letter, I've already mentioned cards 3 times now. I put them on the altar. It's just sort of like my way of, saying blessed be this thing or giving thanks for something. And those things do pile up, and they don't really belong there in the long term. Other things like, I don't know, flowers that we picked or cool rocks that we found, they end up on there. Sometimes, like, I don't know, things like feathers and leaves, all kinds of, not so much this time of year, but in the summer, pine cones. I mean, all kinds of stuff end up on this altar. It just ends up a big pile of all kinds of stuff. So that needs to get cleaned off. And then, of course, it gets dusty. You got to clean off the dust, the cobwebs. I've done the decluttering already. So I don't have a bunch of, I have so many like little figurines and rocks and stuff though. But um, I still need to do the dusting. I don't know if you can see, there's actually cobwebs in the corner there. But I have this cool thing. My grandfather actually made this. It's just he made it to hang things on, and it's just a cool stick that he fixed. And you can see he had it on his wall in his house. And I've already hung my purse on it. But I want to hang that up right here. And that's going to have things like my headphones and things on it. So that will be done today, hopefully. I've got a couple of wall shelves to put up too, just to kind of reduce the clutter in this area. Anyway, I talked enough about how I'm going to I've already started, finish cleaning my altar. But the other thing, very important for the rest of the month, is setting my intentions for the month. This month it's March, so we've got the spring equinox coming up. Really big, we've got a farm here, so lots of big stuff coming up. We've got some babies due on the full moon of it's Virgo, yeah. In March here, so we have to get ready for them. Also, of really big concern is the migration this year. So every year in March, people are going to start asking, what are all these crows about? What do all these crows mean? Because the crows are really loud about their migration. They get really excited about it. I think they probably all go to different places and then they get back together and they're like, hey, we haven't seen you. They get super excited. They're very loud. And you tend to see just tons of crows all over the place. People, I was like, what do these crows mean? Well, every year in March, we get the same questions because they are migrating. This morning, second day of March, I heard the sandhill cranes. They are among our big signs of spring things to celebrate every year. And they are loud. I only heard one. So when some of their friends show up, it's going to get pretty ridiculously loud out there. But the reason why it's a major concern this year, because we're always really super excited. I'm always super excited when I hear the sandhill cranes and the crows. I'm like, yay. But this year, we have avian flu. So the last couple of years here in the US, of course, and everywhere, we've been dealing with COVID. But in Europe, people have also been dealing with avian flu. And this isn't probably something that the average person noticed much. I mean, I didn't hear about it in the mainstream media at all, but in farming Facebook and farming Twitter, we heard about it because our friends in Europe had to make arrangements. Now, I'm not a big farmer. I'm not like a corporate farmer. We do not produce enough food to feed more than ourselves, with a little overflow for friends and neighbors and things, family members. But we do have birds here. We have chickens, ducks, and geese. And they do, for the most part, free range. So the people from Europe for the last couple of years some of them have been struggling with protecting their birds from the avian flu, which was a big problem for them. And the avian flu people can get it. From what I understand, it's not that serious in people. but it has a very high mortality rate for birds. Um, and this year we have had some cases of avian flu in the south that has basically decimated a couple of commercial poultry operations, which is, again, the average person is not going to even notice this until they see the prices on eggs and the usually the cheapest meat you can get, turkey and chicken in the store, is the prices are going to go up, and they're just going to blame the president probably. But for me, it is a big concern and something I've been thinking a lot about, because it is here now in the U.S. If people down south in the U.S. have sick birds, and I heard of a case in New York as well, which is not down south at all. Then when these birds migrate here, they are going to bring the avian flu, which means that I have to protect my birds, because not only can my birds getting sick result in, of course, the death of my birds, I will have to report it to the county. They will possibly euthanize the rest of my flock, my surviving flock, or do something. But if my birds are sick, they can get wild birds sick. And the wild birds do get in my bird area. I find, I should just do a video about avian flu. I find like bird poop in the bird water at the end of the day that is not chicken poop or duck poop or goose poop. It's like, so I definitely know that these wild birds are in there. In fact, I watched 2 starlings fly into the chicken fortress today. To right after I got done feeding them, they were like, "Oh, and you know what? They probably do that every day." Anyhow, so that is something that I need to focus on. I actually have scheduled myself a week in March when I don't have any clients. I'm not seeing any clients that week. I don't have any games. So I will be focusing on that. That's one of the major things I will be doing. Is setting up ways to separate my birds from the birds at large. Video is getting too long. So, other things, let's see. Intentions for the month. Of course, bird flu. Working on bird flu. We've got the spring equinox coming up. We got a plan for that. I'll probably do some videos about like eggs, and I've done egg videos before. I don't know. I'll come up with something. Your suggestions would be welcome, of course. We're going to do the Easter celebration for the kiddo. We always do like an egg hunt for him with little like gifts and things. I need to clean the bunny barn. Barns need to be clean. We got babies coming, so we got to clean out the barns. Got to pet the garden. This is an extremely busy month for us. I am glad I am taking off a month or a week. I wish I was taking off a month. I have bought some lights to set up an indoor like grow area. So I'll probably, do something with that to show you guys if you're interested in that at all. Also, a big concern I'm having is I cannot afford to buy seeds. I spent the whole month, I spent the whole last 2 months like scrimping and saving to buy these lights. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm in my seed list and it's like $300. I'm like, ah. So obviously I'm paring it down. I will be able to buy seeds. I'm not like destitute for seeds, but I have this giant box of old seeds. So I am going to do some germination testing to see how many of those seeds I can just use this year and not buy new seeds. But I was going through them, and some of them are from like 2011 I'm thinking probably not for those at least. I need to start throwing some stuff away. Um, Also, I need to come up with a Discord chat schedule. I was doing Monday nights, but Monday nights was my only night off. My husband wanted attention. We needed to have some family time. So I need to work something else out. Most of my nights are occupied because most of my work schedule is from like 7, like 5, 6, 7 to 11 at night. So doing the evenings, not working out for me. I may be able to pull something off Saturday, occasional Saturdays. Or if I just do something short, I don't know. I'll have to work something out earlier, maybe in the day before my husband gets home from work. I don't know. But we do need to have like family time. It's important. Um, oh, and also I'm doing Wikipedia how-to videos. I want to do Wikipedia. I want to do videos to pair with the articles in the Wikipedia. So I need to. I want to do once a month or once a week. Um, so I need 4 for this month, and I'm drawing a blank. I think I'm going to do one on meditation. Any more ideas that you have, requests? I will take those. Um, but other than that, so I'm interested to know, again, for my intention setting, about how, like, what videos you want to see. This channel here is like my personal channel. It's going to focus more on the things that I do on a personal level, such as, my personal spirituality, as well as my homesteading, cooking, things like that. Um, Whereas the Wikipedia is meant to be more academic and impersonal, I don't want like opinions, too much in the way of opinions over there, or, my personal life in general. So, um, not sure where I was going with this. Those are my divisions, but I want to see, do you want to see more here, about my, personal struggles with my homesteading, cooking, family life, or personal spirituality? Or do you want to see more Wikipedia academic stuff over on the Wikipedia channel? Um, I do ultimately, I'm not going to be able to do it this month. This is a long-term project. It's going to require better equipment than I have. It's going to require more skills than I have. But I do ultimately want to have a little video that goes around along with every single article on the Wikipedia. I can't remember exactly how many there are off the top of my head, but the last time I looked, there was like 800 and something. So that, that's a long-term project. And most of those articles need to be edited and rewritten anyway to be more modern. And also we need to keep adding new information all the time. There's probably about 300 articles waiting to be written that are like, we need an article about this. So obviously at some point I am going to have to hire someone to help me out. But I'm hoping, again, it's all I'm feeling overwhelmed now. Let's say, yeah. So I have my list of things to do. I do use Keep on my computer, Google Keep, to keep track of my lists. So I will be adding things to that list, my things to do in March list. And I also have a calendar, uh, a Google Calendar, which you can import. My Patreons have access to it, and you can import it. So if you are interested in that, you can go um, get that off. I mean, it's just a little thing, but uh, it's patreon.com/dawnblack. Um, and of course, my patrons are the first to see these videos as well. So, and the first to know about them. Tomorrow I decided I am going to chat about witchcraft, religion, and me, sort of my personal take on witchcraft and religion. And also I feel like I'm not comfortable really talking about religion as part of teaching people witchcraft. And I feel like I'm explaining that a lot. So I thought I'd just do a video about that and just sort of explain that. I feel like I explain it a lot, but I don't explain it well. I'm not explaining thoroughly, like why. I try to just like, look, I'm here to I don't want to talk about religion. So, but yeah, so we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Again, 10:30 every weekday. Good morning with Dawn. So, I'll see you tomorrow then. Take care. I hope you have a wonderful day and enjoy the new moon.